People often think that living in the inner city means you need to sacrifice having a garden, but that actually couldn't be further from the truth. What you need to do is think about it differently. Now, we're only 3 kilometres away from the centre of the city here, and in those locations, most people think, I want some privacy, so they build this big brick wall. But instead, here they've gone for a much softer approach. A small picket fence and this incredible Morea hedge. Now, Morea has to be one of my favourite plants. It's so easy to grow, makes a perfect hedge, medium to tall hedge like this one, with no problems. It also has a really lovely fragrant flower. But this is just the beginning of an incredible garden. When you come through the gate, you're immediately transported away from the city, and that's mainly because of this enormous celtis tree. It gives an incredible canopy, which makes it feel so much cooler and private in here. What that also does is create a microclimate for shade-loving plants. We've got lots of gingers, walking iris, lots of textural plants, and the space feels enormous. It feels incredibly long all the way through, and that's accentuated by these sandstone stepping stones as they walk through the garden and traverse up to the front door. Now, there's actually 2 ways to the back garden here. One's around the side, but the one that's far more impressive is straight through the house. This home was once 2 smaller terraces, but as the family grew, their need for space grew as well. Rather than move out further away from the city, they managed to buy the next-door neighbouring property and turn it into this incredible family home. Now, one of the benefits of getting more space like that is you also get twice the amount of garden. And that's where landscape architect Emily Simpson comes into the picture. Emily, this garden is spectacular. Well done.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
So it's so seamless. I mean, between the house and the garden, where did your work start and the architect's stop?
We worked really closely together. We got to this concept, which basically has the outdoor seating area adjacent to the new pavilion kitchen.
And what was here when you got here?
When we got here, there was the heritage frangipani and a few screening plants, but it was pretty much a blank canvas.
And how old is the garden?
3 years. 3 years old.
It's really grown up. You've got some of my favourite trees. This is the leopard tree, isn't it?
Yes, it's got that great fine foliage.
It has lovely fine foliage and almost an umbrella-like feel
Canopy.
to it.
Yes.
I really love this sunken area. It just feels so intimate, doesn't it, when you're down in it?
Yes, it does.
The space is, what, only maybe 2.5 metres, so it's not very big, but it feels much bigger because you've got this lovely expanse of bench seat.
That's right, yep.
And normally that saves space because you take away the need for human movement around it. You've repurposed that for planting, which makes this the perfect picture image of an outdoor room.
Yeah,
it's really incredible. But with the bricks, tell me about those.
They're recycled bricks from site, as well as incorporating some glazed bricks, just to give that pop of colour. And the client's daughter actually helped select the colours. So that was a really fun process.
Where'd that come from? Anyway, this is the basketball area, but it also doubles up as the outdoor kitchen as well.
Yes, it does. The clients love their cooking and entertaining, so that was a real must for them. And then the basketball area is softened by dichondra and gravel to break up the concrete slabs. Yeah,
the most obvious thing to do is just to concrete it all for the practicality of basketball, but you can still play basketball. I might show you later, by breaking it up. Like this. It just softens it, makes it nicer, doesn't it?
And it also encourages water permeability as well.
Of course. So tell me a bit about these screens.
The screens mirror the screens actually inside, and they move along on a track to create flexibility.
Because this is a much hotter spot, isn't it?
It is, that's right.
You've tied it together with the planting, the Alpinia nutans there. That lovely fragrant one would smell lovely when the screens move across, but it works in shade and sun.
Smells fantastic.
Yes.
And there's also another microclimate around the corner.
What, around there?
Yes.
All right, you lead the way. I'll just get...
Oh, yes.
Yeah, well, that was always going to happen, wasn't it? Wow, this space is really nice, isn't it?
Yeah, it's really beautiful and cool, and It's such a warm day.
Yeah, it's like 10 degrees cooler in here. It's
Yeah.
really nice.
Yeah.
These tree ferns give you such a good canopy, don't they?
Yeah, the concept for this courtyard was introducing Sydney native ferns and Sydney native rock orchids.
But this is actually a utility area, isn't it?
It is.
Everyone's got one of these ugly spots, but you've made this a really beautiful space. And because it's so much cooler, all this cold air is getting sucked up into the house through these louvers. Very clever.
Sustainability was really, really important for the clients. They wanted to grow their own food on the block. They wanted to collect rainwater for reuse for irrigation. And they also have some native bees.
That really is amazing for an inner city block. But the thing I think I love most are these amazing benches. It's just an area you want to sit down and enjoy.
Yeah, they're actually old foundation stones from the house.
And another great tip for keeping the space cool is this creeping fig on the wall. It just reduces the temperature of the bricks, doesn't it?
Definitely.
It's a little bit of work keeping it as neat and tidy as you've got it here, but
Yes.
it's definitely worth the effort.
No, definitely. Creating that green
I
wall.
have loved seeing this garden, every single part of it. The front, the courtyard. I mean, I was terrible at basketball, but, you know, you've lifted the spirits by bringing me to this spot. Thank you so much for showing us around.
Thank you. It's been a pleasure.